In this video, I am going to discuss how to actually go about finding assisted living facilities and properties to actually purchase, ones that are existing. So if you're interested, make sure to stick around. What's going on, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. If you're new here, my name is Serge. Welcome to the channel. To all my recurring viewers, thank you so much for all the love and support that each and every single one of you have shown me. And if you have not yet, make sure to go check out the God Made podcast on most streaming platforms. Also, feel free to go check out legionassistedlivingacademy.com, where I teach how to start your own facility from A to Z. Also, you can book a one-on-one mentorship call with myself. Also, you can book a full day and come out and spend it with me and ask any questions you may have and take a couple tours of the facilities that I have. So make sure to go check that out. Also, if you have not checked out Valley ALF Ventures on Instagram, feel free to go do that. Check out valleyalfventures.com as well if you are a limited partner looking to passively invest in this space, or if you're an operator looking to potentially sell or expand your operations. We would love to have a conversation with you. Also, if you are looking to do placement or need to place someone in the greater Phoenix area, we do placement as well at valleyalfventures.com. And so with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the topic of this video. Now, how do you go about actually finding existing assisted living businesses to actually potentially purchase? And the reason why I like to talk about this and teach this is because buying an existing business is, for the most part, a lot more simplified in the sense of licensing and zoning, and you do get to skip essentially those parts of starting this type of business. Starting from scratch can be pretty cumbersome, it can be pretty time consuming, and it can take a lot of capital to do so. And so being able to actually go and find these existing businesses will, for the most part, be well worthwhile, especially if you can find these operators that have been in the business for 15 plus years, who at this point are either ready to retire, are sitting on a business or in a business that is, for the most part, turnkey, or it has the location locked in from a zoning standpoint and has everything for licensing, and maybe they're not operating things as efficiently. So you get to come in and be able to take advantage of that and be able to maximize what you can do with that one location. And so that is why buying something existing, for the most part, is a lot more simple. And yes, is there going to be some moving pieces from the transaction side of purchasing an existing business, both with the real estate side of it and the business, of course. But in this video, we're going to talk about how to find these existing businesses, right? And so let's jump right into that. And the very first thing you want to actually go look at is, for the most part, every state has a regulatory board that regulates these homes and these businesses. And so what you want to do is go to these websites where this regulatory board is in place and start looking up these facilities. And also, a lot of these regulatory boards need to have this website to publicly display the deficiencies that each facility has had at some point or another, or their previous inspections, whether they had a deficiency or not. And so what you can do is start narrowing down the area that you are looking to have a facility. So for the state of Arizona, you have the Arizona Department of Health Services, AZDHS. Now, AZDHS has a thing called AZ Care Check. And so you can go there and you can start looking in zip codes and reach out to each of these facilities within that zip code and see if the current seller is available. And if they are, or the current owner, I should say, who will eventually be a seller, hopefully, you can ask if they're available. And if they are, you can have a conversation about their facility and then ask if they would be open to potentially selling. And more times than not, they may or may not be receptive to it, and they just may say, yes, I am. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. Sure, give me an offer or write me an offer, or just simply they'll tell you no, that they're not interested in selling. And so that is for the state of Arizona, AZ Care Check. That's what you can do. Now, California you have the community care licensing division. Now, they also have a very similar thing, portal, I guess you could say, or where you can go and look up different facilities by their license type and see where those facilities are. And there's a whole list. You could either just go ahead and do it for Arizona, California, whatever state you may be, Texas, Florida, Oregon, Washington State, all these different states that this is a very common model that it works in. What you can do is just compile that list into a spreadsheet or an Excel sheet. And then at that point, you can just go through and start calling all these facilities and make notes of what they're currently wanting to do. And this is just a great way to figure out, okay, how many of these facilities are for sale, which ones are for sale, which businesses have a lease in place, which ones do the owners currently own themselves from a real estate side or even on the business side. And there's a lot of potential to even do seller financing with these types of businesses, at least on the business side, right? Because most of these owner operators started them from scratch. They really don't hold any debt on the business side. They may have debt with like the real estate, with the mortgage, and some of them may even have the real estate even completely paid off, and you may be able to seller finance the whole thing as a whole. And so there's a lot of ways you could structure that and go through that, but for the most part, this is what I suggest each individual who is looking to get into this specific niche. Again, you can book one-on-one mentorship calls with myself, and we can kind of talk through the different ways you can propose an offer to a potential seller and, you know, to put yourself in the best position as a buyer. So again, this is a great way to go about it and find these off-market deals, because honestly, websites like LoopNet, you know, even Zillow, even all these different websites, Crexy, etc. Yes, but oftentimes the listings that come onto those websites are things that people have already passed up on, right? Those brokers have sent it out to their investors. None of them were interested. And so they went ahead and put it on these websites to send it out to the public. So again, this is probably the best and easiest way that I found to find these off-market deals. And again, you can go and search on Google, you know, facilities in your area and, you know, go through that. But ultimately, you're still going to have to take a couple steps to eventually get to the facility owner or even the manager, whoever is in charge there. But with these regulatory boards, they have these numbers already implemented in there of who to call and who the potential licensee is. And typically the licensee is the owner because they had to submit that in the application. And so another thing you can do to try to find these managers as well is there's different boards that regulate these administrators and managers, and you could do the exact same thing, right? You can search up these managers' certifications and these administrators' licenses and call them as well and see if they're looking or know of anybody that's potentially looking to sell. So with these off-market deals, that is a great way to go about and actually get some of these existing businesses. And there's so many different ways you can go about structuring and purchasing some of these facilities from a seller finance standpoint, and just being creative with the potential seller that you may be buying from. So with all that being said, if you have not yet, make sure to go check out LeadGenesisLivingAcademy.com. Also, if you want to book a one-on-one mentorship call with myself, or even book a full day and come out and see some of the facilities, ask any questions that you may have, and I will just make sure that it's a great experience overall and that you get to learn a lot. So make sure to reach out to me through valleyalfventures.com or just at LeadGenesisLivingAcademy.com. And so with all that being said, thank you so much again for watching and supporting the channel. I appreciate every single one of you. And with that, I will talk to you all later. God bless.